Sahil, I want to know from you what you make of England's batting. I love the mid-afternoon meltdown that happened. The way Kuldeep Yadav took wickets, lunch to the tea session. And three of the finest England batters went back in that period. Johnny Bairstow, Joe Root, and Ben Stokes. They all have 100 caps in the format, and they were unable to understand what Kuldeep Yadav was doing. Also, our Ashwin, though Ashwin didn't get any of their wickets, and it was, Kuldeep Yadav, except one, the Joe Root's dismissal by Ravindra Jadeja. But what do you think? Did they fail in reading the conditions, or did they fail in understanding the plan of the Indian spinners?
No, their approach has been mindless in the series so far. They have been very arrogant just to not adapt and implement those changes in their game. Ben Stokes, what is he thinking? He continues to go on the back foot against the spinners. Where is he playing? Old Trafford Lords. यहाँ ट्रू बाउंस नहीं आएगा यार. Just try and come on to the front foot. That should be your first instinct while playing spin in these conditions. And time and again. And what problem I have with Ben Stokes, वो regular ball को ऐसे unplayable बना देता है ना, वो antics करके. वो आज वाला ball, he didn't read Kuldeep from the hand, boss. You didn't read a wrong one. सिंपल. उसके अंदर इतना क्या रॉकेट साइंस बना दिया कि ऐसा इशारा कर रहा है, वैसा कर रहा है. दो टांग के बीच में तेरा बॉल निकल जाता है क्योंकि तेरे को पता नहीं वो टर्न किस वे हो रहा है. So it's you who's the bigger problem. Just don't blame conditions, or just don't appreciate the craft. You are just making mockery of batting right now. The way he's batting, matlab that one freak inning every 2 years won't do justice to holding on to your place in the 11. And same could be said about Oli Pope. That 196, agar aap usko baaju hata do, what was he doing today? Matlab, you can't dance down on this track, boss. Even when Kuldeep Yadav or even when Shubman Gill kind of steps out to off spinners, you see there is method when he steps out. वो एक छोटा पैर खोलता है फिर बड़ा पैर खोलता है. ये तो डांस करता हुआ आ गया Oli Pope, expecting the ball to turn into him. So clearly they weren't reading him from the hand. Why I say that? Because nothing was happening off the wicket. जो भी मैजिक हो रहा था सब हाथ से हो रहा था. ड्रिफ्ट हो रहा था, आपको हाथ से देखना था. They weren't following the basics, which is to read from the bowler's hand. मतलब मुंबई मैदान का मतलब ताउस भाई जेमी को मतलब सबको पता रहेगा. मुंबई मैदान में सबसे पहले बोला जाता है वॉच द bowler's hand, and that is what they have failed to do in this series. Joe Root, Johnny Bairstow, Ben Stokes, Ben Foakes, Oli Pope. This is a very intimidating middle order.
Yeah.
They came with a lot of reputation. Leave aside Bazball. They came with a reputation to play good, hard test cricket, and they have surrendered. They have surrendered. The middle order has been in tatters right from the Hyderabad test. अगर आप जैक
Yeah.
क्रोली के रन हटा दो इस सीरीज में से, तो ये बंटा ढार हो चुका था इस टीम का. And the fact is, ये प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंसेस में आते हैं ना, they act so cool and cocky about it, like we are learning, we are growing. Where are you growing? You're just getting worse by the day, boss. You're not growing, you're not evolving. अगर आप लास्ट सीरीज से कंपेयर कर रहे हो कि आप कितना ग्रो कर रहे हो, तो उसके अंदर पिचेस का हाथ रहा है कि आपको इतना सुंदर दिखा रहे हैं वो. अगर यहाँ पे खोल देते ना तो आपका वो अहमदाबाद वाला हाल होता. So it's just
Yeah.
that the middle order just hasn't stepped up for England, and they probably were more very very experienced than our Indian middle order was. They could have like outbatted us on a couple of occasions in this test in the test series. They missed two golden opportunities to outbat us. So they just
Yeah.
haven't applied themselves with the bat, and ये हम लोग का बेवकूफी था कि हमने इनको हैदराबाद वगैरह में पिच ऐसा दे दिया जहाँ पे हार्टली जैसा बॉलर अनप्लेएबल बन गया. आज दिखाया ना
Yeah.
शोएब बशीर, उसने आंख दिखाया जायसवाल को, वो 3 छक्के मारे एक ओवर के अंदर. तो ऐसे ही ट्रीट हो गए बॉलर्स, और तभी इनको रियलाइज हो कि ये हवा खत्म हो गया बेसबॉल का.
Yeah. No, I remember before the start of the series, Sahil, there was this whole buzz about your baseball and no consequences mindset. But throughout the series, we have seen, how they failed to actually perform with the bat, because they always perform with the words and they come up with so fancy statements in the press conferences. Shini, in this whole series, we saw how, James Anderson once said that agar aap 600 bhi de do to hum 600 bhi chase kar sakte hain. Then Ben Duckett came up with some sort of comments on, England's batting. Ben Stokes, quite a lot many times, said that, okay, we have lost the test, but we'll play in this fashion only. We'll go after each and every ball. But as Sahil mentioned, that except Zach Crawley, England batters have failed to produce good show in the series. How do you assess this no consequences mindset of the English side now?
See, I mean, this is not the first time. Vocabulary has always been a very important facet of English cricket. It's always. For the life of me, I can't remember that I've been, a tour has happened, whether at home or away for them, and they've not really kind of built these castles in the sky, no matter what the storyline has been. So at times it has always been question. It's this question has been there in the past also, that the narrative that they look to seek has no bearing with the actual reality that they end up facing. And most times, sorry, the light has gone away, so you might have to tend with the darkness. So yeah, so that is England for you.
Hmm.
That is England for you, and not surprising at all. I mean, they just love making a hue and cry of things. But that said, what Sahil said, I completely agree with this. That right now, what you're witnessing is the end of this Bazball conundrum.
Hmm.
Between now and by the time they go home and start preparing for the Ashes, which kind of the second most thing that exists in their lives. I mean, outside of being themselves. So by the time they get closer to the Ashes, I would like to think that this Bazball is not going to be part of their dressing room discussion anymore. I mean, the way they have gone about chasing this Bazball theory and making themselves believe, forget the others, making themselves believe that they're doing something different here. I think
Hmm.
time has come to close the chapter and start a new one. And England, I think the English dressing room, so I'll explain the middle order, a very troubled middle order. They would be the first ones right now admitting that, it's a concept that doesn't work, except for,
Yeah.
those rare occasions when your bat keeps doing the talking, and, you happen to be in the kind of touch that is required. Like, the Ben Stokes example that he was kind of mentioning, is a maverick. There are times when Ben Stokes may have actually allowed this kind of a mindset to, kind of put out a good score
Hmm.
there, will single-handedly win matches for England. But that, the
Hmm.
ratio of something like this happening vis-a-vis something like this not happening,
Hmm.
just negligible. So I think they have to come to the understanding, and they have to begin to believe that test match needs to be played the classical way, and
Hmm.
that is the only choice if you've got to kind of perform consistently over a period of time. I think that's the long and short of this. You are literally looking at the end of this so-called baseball theory. I mean, I can't see it any other way.
Well, yes. If I have to pick any two words that trended the most in the series, one was baseball, and Srini and Sahil talked about it. Jamie, I would love you to talk about Jaiswal, because that's also one word that trended the most in the series. And the way Yashasvi Jaiswal played today, I really can't get over those three sixes that he smashed to Shoaib Bashir in the ninth over of India's innings. And with that, he completed 26 sixes in the series. Obviously, he smashed a number of records, but he threw away his wicket in today's game. Do you think that there is anything that can stop Yashasvi Jaiswal at the moment? Because he's just looking unstoppable, except the way he got out today. He just threw away that wicket. But apart from that, do you think there's anything that can stop him at the moment?
Only Yashasvi Jaiswal can stop him. I mean, there was 100 before stumps for the taking.
Yeah.
I'm least bothered that he got out because that approach got him two double hundreds. That approach got him 80 on the first day of India's batting. We can talk about him. I just want to add on what Sahil and Shini were saying. I agree 100%. That was a brilliant way to sum up what Bazball has done. Just to rewind in a very tongue-in-cheek way, I'll give these jokers, I call them jokers because they are jokers. I give these jokers one credit. Unlike every single English past team, they've not complained. So let's give them credit for not complaining.
Yeah.
The second thing is the immense joy I've had, the entertainment in watching them. They're going to lose 4-1. But I like the fact that they're losing in this way for all the said factors. That's
Hmm.
to watch them lose 4-1 by playing that traditional orthodox way would have been like watching any series in the last 15 years. जिस अंदाज से ये हारे हैं ना, ये सारे फैक्टर मिला के it has been immense. So I'm just going to say for these two things, I like the way baseball is played. They were always going to be smashed, most likely 4-1. And I have loved that it's happened in this way, with the arrogance, with the statements, with all the things that Sahil said. Anyways, that's just me getting out of the way. Baseball has been busted. Now we can say it with official. Ab wo us pe lag gaya wo stamp, rejected.